What?
What? What the hell was that? Hello, welcome everyone to the Chaos Protocol. Hi friends, you got a little that was foreshadowing. Okay, what just happened was foreshadowing. We did a flash forward together. Hi friends. I am so excited to see all of your digital, non-existent faces in the chat of Transplanar RPG. If you don't know what this is, whether you are tuning in for the first or 100th time, we are an all-transgender, people of color-led, dark fantasy actual play channel telling stories set in an original non-colonial, anti-orientalist multiverse. But our worlds are not escapism, and our ideals are not purely fictional. We must stand against genocide and ethnic cleansing, and support all oppressed peoples of this world struggling against injustice, imperialism, and colonization. We must use our voices to build solidarity and fight for the worlds we wish to see. So to that end, free Sudan, free DRC, free Palestine, abolish ICE until there is nothing left, abolish the Imperial Project until there is nothing left, land back to all indigenous peoples across the globe, and may we all see liberation in our lifetime. Thank you. And thank you all so much for showing up to support our story and our show. It's time to get chaotic. If you're watching this right now, you are witnessing the live recordings of Arc 4 episodes 25 and 26. We are currently co-streaming on Twitch and YouTube Live at Transplanar RPG, and all VODs will be hosted on our YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure thereafter, before being uploaded to Vimeo and the Internet Archive. But first, please allow me to introduce my incredible cast for the evening, starting with our very special Arc 4 guest, Dare Hickman.
Hi, Dare Hickman is who I be. I am pronouns she, they, fade it. It's been a hot minute. I'm a little silly today. I am excited to play Zinnia, who is very normal and well adjusted. And I'm just going to throw it all the way over to Val.
Hello everyone, I'm Valiant Dorian. I use he him his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight I have the distinct pleasure of playing your favorite little Doom boy, Sayer, who uses he, they pronouns. I'm gonna pass it on over to the Pop Pop of the hour. Hey Pop Pop, you gonna look at me?
Maybe.
Both of y'all are sick. I hate it here.
I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I am back tonight with the pleasure of playing Mr. Zanin Esh, who uses he, him pronouns, a lone survivor. Ex-lone survivor? I'll pass it on over to an actual lone survivor. Sam?
Hello, it's me, the actual lone survivor, as well as, you know, the one everyone looks at, just cause. Hi, I'm Sam Star. I use she, they, and the occasional they pronouns. I see you rolling your eyes there. You know I'm telling the truth. And tonight, I have the beautiful distinction of playing... You know what?
Wow, we came in spicy today.
We came
in
pretty feral today. I have the pleasure of playing Lumira, who uses she, her pronouns. Our resident healer / chronologist, emphasis on the chronologist. What's going on, boss?
It's me, boss. Here's what's going on. So to start off our announcements, as usual, a massive thank you to our two major sponsors for Arc 4, Hero Forge and the Working Families Party. Hero Forge is a website, where you can design and print your very own custom miniatures from regular miniature size to rather large miniature size for that nice detail. And recently, they also now offer custom 3D printed dice. You can put anything from Hero Forge that you might be able to make into the clear material of the die and still get a perfectly weighted chunk of math rock. So visit Hero Forge today at bit.ly/transforge to check out their offerings. Even just clicking on that link, visiting it, sharing it far and wide, going to bit.ly/transforge when you want to go to Hero Forge anyway, helps our show a lot. As for the Working Families Party, they are a progressive third party in the United States, building a multiracial coalition of working class folks to make our communities a better place to live in for everyone. You can take an action to affect change right now by signing their petition to break up big media companies and even join their mailing list at bit.ly/WFPtrans. Again, just clicking on that link helps us a lot. Finally, a big ol' thank you to Chepeku for letting us use their scenes throughout this arc, as well as a big thank you to Explain Trade and Frivolous Bear Studios for being our channel-wide sponsors. Over to you, Dare.
Hi, hey, I'm Dare again. We're so excited to share that incredible game system for Arc 4. Force of Extinction is now on BackerKit. Sign up for free to get your own quick start PDF of the game. Be the first to know about the upcoming launch this month. Use !system in the chat to check it out and help us support a great game of apocalyptic horror and survival. And I'll throw it over to you, Val.
Hi folks, you know what time it is. We have great merch options for fans of Transplanar. Go to transplanarrpg.shop or use !merch in chat to find apparel, home goods, and accessories that have been gorgeously designed by, everyone say it with me, our husband. Excellent. We're also so excited to talk about our collaboration with Die Hard Dice to bring you custom dice sets themed after each member of Strike Team Nova. That is a bit of felt. Themed after each member of Strike Team Nova. Head on over to bit.ly/transdhd or use !DHD in chat to nab your very own set of Chaos Dice. I'm gonna pass it over to Kai.
Another huge thank you to our Patreon precepts for supporting our show. Thank you to Azra, Brooke, The Bow System, Elvira, Mainman13, Mark J, Necessity, Robert Burke, Rose, Sergeant Danes, Spectra, Spencer, Taylor, Travis L, and Zoe. Join their illustrious ranks and help us smash our membership milestones at patreon.com/transplanarrpg. Now, Sam, what's been going on?
Last time on the Chaos Protocol. Strike Team Nova reached the walls of the garden with the tears of Fiyumi. The party splits up to scout the area, accidentally disturbing a resting swarm of glass-tailed butterflies, which was fucked, by the way, Connie, which descend and start to attack. The doors of the garden open up as Nova and the Tears fight through the swarm, allowing them into the last bastion of community on Kesseki. And that's what you missed last time. Use !recap in chat to read our full written recap document, and to Connie for some self-care tips.
All right. So, as always, the Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with content that may be triggering for some viewers. So, content warnings for this session may include fantasy violence, blood, gore, death and killing, grief, complex relationships, survival and scarcity, environmental collapse, apocalypse, guns as weaponry, monsters, and hold on, I think this might be outdated what I'm looking at. I'm gonna start from the beginning of this list again. Fantasy violence, blood, death and killing, grief, mourning, loss of loved ones, complex relationships, survival and scarcity, environmental collapse, apocalypse, guns as weaponry, youth in dangerous situations, and references to classism and the loss of children. No youth will be harmed in this episode, or any other Chaos episode. Just as a reminder, you can always use !CW in the Twitch chat to get a list of these content warnings at any time. If you are in the YouTube live, then our incredible mods will be copy and pasting these content warnings in the chat quite frequently, so you can always just pop on over to chat to stay abreast of what content may or may not come up imminently. Okay. And now, the title of tonight's episode is I Do Not Mourn for Worlds We Lost. From Waiting for the Moon to Burn by Connie Chong. And with that, let's begin. Even now, in her 50s. Samishi Erebor retains a healthy luster of the stunning beauty she must have possessed when she was younger. Her thick black hair is streaked with gray and tied into a practical bun with a single loose strand framing her face. Her neon purple eyes are gently wrinkled at the corners, and they glimmer with a sharp intelligence. Her cheekbones are high, her jaw angular, her eyebrows sharp but elegant, as though painted on by a master calligrapher. She carries herself with a rare presence that is equal parts refinement and pragmatism. Like the rest of the survivors in this commune, Samishi Erebor wears plain clothing, nothing fancy. A cotton haori and blouse, dusty trousers, hardy work boots. If not for the way Stovall bows her head in deference and respect, you never would have suspected that this woman, out of everyone else here, could be the leader of the garden. There is also the matter of the creature that accompanies her. Floating in the air beside her head, lazily flapping its wings on an unseen current, is a glass-tailed butterfly the size of a ferret. The star in the center of its gelid body glows in that same bright purple neon as Samishi's eyes. As your party approaches, Samishi turns around from her workstation, a long wooden table littered with all manner of oddities, gardening tools, a splayed-open journal, stacks of papers and hollow pads, and most notably, countless containers all full of dust. With a faint smile, Samishi Erebor pulls off a pair of well-worn gardening gloves and tucks them into her waistband, and when she speaks, addressing all of you, her voice is clear and calm, like the surface of an alpine lake, and you see flashes of pitch-black teeth. I hope that all of you are quite all right. I could see the swarm rising over the walls and knew that there must have been some sort of trouble. A few of you look rather bloodied. Please, use this. She reaches into a cloth pouch at her waist and pulls out a spray bottle filled with some sort of clear liquid, and she holds this bottle out to your group at large. This is an aerosol sterilizer and coagulant of my own design. Nothing too complex, mostly just hypochlorous acid and platelet-rich blood plasma suspended in nanitic fluid of my own design, but it should clean and seal most surface-level wounds. That being said, if any of you are suffering from anything more extreme than that, I'm happy to take a closer look as well, though I don't see any signs of internal bleeding or tension pneumothorax from here, but I could be wrong. Here. And she looks expectantly at all of you.
Zynon looks to Lumira the moment any mention of any offer of healing comes up, because he's not going to take anything that Lumira doesn't at least nod about.
Lumira kind of sits there, and you can see a ping of recognition as different things are being said. She kind of leans forward and does like a quick glance over at Nova, head to toe of each member, and over at the Tears. I think kind of like locking eyes with Zinnia for a bit. Like, y'all good?
Zynon is damp from blood.
Sayer's enchanted by Samishi Erebor. There's a way she speaks and the way that she rattled off everything she knew. And her skill is palpable. This whole place is built by her. what we've been told is to be believed. And she sounds so much like you, Lumira. So how can Sayer not be enchanted by that?
I think Zinnia looks between herself and the tears first. Her arm is bloodied, especially after the dagger for the creatures. Before she looks at Ozalis, who is definitely on the worst end of it. I think locks eyes with Lumira again, and if you don't reach for it, she's going to reach for it first. She takes it.
You take it. Samishi offers you that gentle smile, and releases the bottle very easily. It's light in your hand, and there are other members of the Tears who look a little bloodied from the attack. No one is imminently about to die, but this spray, if it does what Samishi says it does, will definitely be more than enough to patch you all up. So, Zinnia, I assume you start patching yourself and others up, handing the spray bottle to each member of the Tears?
I think Zinnia takes a second first after spraying herself to make sure there is nothing potentially wrong. And if there is, she's willing to be the one who takes that. Waits maybe a minute or two. And
You
then
missed the parts. You missed the parts of your body that are wounded, and instantly, it's like it feels good. Like a cool mist goes over the wounds, and you see your skin start to patch itself up in front of your eyes. Surface level wounds just braiding over themselves as you see the nanitic fluid, is what it had been called, working, bubbling almost, but not painfully at all. There's a little bit of a tickle, actually, as the last strands of fiber and skin knit themselves back together, and it's like it's as good as new. Just a few traces of outlines from where the glass tails had lapped at your skin, from where the dagger had cut in. You pass it along to other members of the Tears who follow your lead. Notably, Ozil does not accept the bottle, even though they are drenched in blood from head to tail. And eventually, the aerosol spray makes its way to strike Team Nova. Does anyone reject it for any reason, or do you all also kind of spray yourself down?
I mean, Zynon steps to it quickly. If it looks like it's working and it's safe, he wasn't a fan of feeling like he was run through fiberglass. So he is eager for relief.
And relief comes instantly. As soon as the mist goes over the exposed parts of your body, it's cool and like a literal cleansing, healing tide sweeping over your wounds. And everyone who sprays themselves can heal 1 hit point.
As that cooling feeling hits Zynon, again, since we've been here, this horrible pang comes out of nowhere. He's enjoying this. He's enjoying the garden. It is beautiful and it is so alive. And here he is being healed by a spray bottle. And he can't help but wonder if this could have saved either Pyrrha or Doxa.
When the bottle eventually makes its way back to Samishi, she places it back into her pouch and says, by way of explanation, "It's actually quite fortunate that the precise kinds of wounds that I'm addressing here are dealt by glass-tailed butterflies. I had actually developed this latest version of my concoction based on observations I'd made on myself, in terms of how my companion had been affected me after its feedings."
And what's the main ingredient in that?
Usually just hypochlorous acid. The nanitic fluid is based off of nanobots of my own creation, my own design. I took something that had been patented by Lux Eco and put my own spin on it. I found the design of it to be a little lacking in some regards, so I updated it as I saw fit.
Lumira grins. Just a bit. The smile doesn't meet her eyes, but she is assessing over Zynon, watching how the skin sinewing back together, and if it's coming back together in a way that she deems suitable.
Lumira, as a very adept healer, you can tell instantly that this spray is the real deal. If everything Samishi is saying is true, that she made this herself, then she is like borderline a genius to have created this under these conditions.
Nice.
I assume you are a healer yourself, based on the interest you're taking in this.
She nods.
Well, the commune could certainly use more healers. The everyday work of simply surviving here nowadays on Kesseki is enough to take a quite heavy toll on each of our bodies.
It's a little different, but it works.
How? And Zynon can't stop looking at the plants, the pots. And he's spent all this time trying to not just blurt out the question.
Well, my latest iterations of my process, my experiments here, have been the result of a small breakthrough I've made in the past 4 years. That was about the time when I had excavated Starlight, and she gestures at the glass-tailed butterfly that's kind of lazily floating around her head. Now it's kind of drifting over to each of you, not with any sense of hostility or malice, kind of just like a very curious moth. Just bopping around on the wind like a plastic bag.
Listen, Zynon loves almost every single creature. This one, he's like, no.
Yeah, you like duck away from it, and the wind that your motion creates kind of gusts it over to Zinnia's shoulder. Samishi continues by way of explanation and says, I had excavated Starlight from the dust surrounding the garden. I used it initially to test the viability of some of my more recent experiments, and fortunately I was able to find some degree of success. Of course, at the time, Starlight wasn't exactly Starlight. It was in a state of cryptobiosis, though it is quite healthy now. As you all, I'm sure, have discovered firsthand, however, glasstails are hive creatures. So Starlight's awakening roused the rest of its dormant hive, all of whom had also been in a tune state. I responded by locking down the commune and simply waiting out the swarm until they settled back down and re-entered anhydrobiosis. As long as they're not disturbed, they're quite docile and harmless.
And this one's not triggered by the other ones when they react?
Starlight is something of a special case. I think given the degree of success of my experiments with Starlight, it has developed something of its own, well, individuality. So it is not necessarily a strict member of the hive in the same way it used to be. I gave it the opportunity to return to the rest of its companions and settle back down into the dust, but it chose to come back. I think it's developed something of an attachment to this place.
Wow.
And the plants, the dirt.
These are the result of the efforts of my experiments. But before I bore you all too much with the details, might I inquire what you're here for and how I might be able to help?
I think Zinnia kind of gives a look to Azalis on if we want to go ask the big question first.
You don't even have to look. They're already speaking. This entire time, these pleasantries, this exchange, they had barely been able to just endure and suffer through it. And as soon as this question is asked, they cut in with no ceremony or introduction at all. Where's Buta Erebor? Samishi's bright neon purple eyes cut over to Azalis Raid. They blink. Buta. Oh, I'm quite sorry to be the one to tell you this, but Buta Erebor is dead. I killed him.
What do you mean by that?
There is, for a moment, just silence from the rest of the tiers, especially Azalis Raid. And in the silence that extends briefly, Samishi Erebor says, "Well, you see, my marriage to Buta was arranged. Buta Erebor is not originally from Kesseki. However, he, in a series of political exchanges and maneuvering, found himself to this planet and acquired the position of planetary lord. Even so, he wanted to legitimize his lordship in the eyes of Kessekins by marrying a Kessekin. I myself, I am from a mercantile family. And my parents, my father in particular, leapt at the opportunity to advance the political prospects of his name. You see, my father had provided quite a rigorous education for me as the eldest daughter, for the sole purpose of one day marrying a rich man, who would hopefully be a lord of some sort. So, in his eyes, this was a match made by the ancestors. Of course, the arrangement served both parties. My husband received the legitimacy he always craved, and my family became connected to a planetary lord by way of marriage. Though I myself was always more of a pawn than a beneficiary, I had no say in the matter. After the wedding, my role was done. My life's purpose was served. There was no point to me anymore. As for why I killed him, he wanted to leave. And everything began to end. When the dust, you understand. As for myself, I wanted to stay. He tried to force me to come with him, so I killed him. To protect myself. And so I could stay and protect my people. And, if I may be quite frank, because a part of me always wanted to kill my husband. There is a noise. It is a terrible noise. It is a horrible, feral, wrenching, shuddering, borderline rabid noise, like an animal in a death throe. It doesn't make any sense. It's loud, like gunshots. And you don't know where it comes from. None of you know where this noise is coming from, and then you realize the source. It's Azalis Raid. And Zinnia, this is the first time you and any of the tiers have ever heard them laugh. They are bent over. Their hands are on their knees. They're hitching and hitching like they're being possessed by a violent, vengeful spirit. And they are laughing and laughing so hard that tears are spilling out of their eyes. They're pounding a fist violently against one thigh with enough force to bruise the muscle underneath, the dust-starved muscle. And then, very suddenly, they straighten and the shotgun is in their hand and they're pointing it at Samishi.
Ozzel.
Do you physically stop them?
I will.
Zynon will step in the way.
Okay. Zinnia, Zynon, which of you gets to Ozzel first, and or do you get to them at the same time?
I think I just, shove down the actual barrel of the gun. This is not the first time I've had to stop Ozzel from killing
And
someone.
Zynon wasn't stepping towards Ozzel at all. Because at this moment, he knows that he would only make it worse if he stepped anywhere close to them. So he steps instead in the place that he thinks he would be best served to catch the bullet. Because if that trigger gets pulled, they could be killing our only hope right now.
Yeah, Zinnia, as your hand goes to the barrel of the shotgun and is just bringing it down, Zynon, you step forward, interceding your body between Azalis Raid and Samishi Erebor, and at the same time, Stovall also steps forward protectively in front of Samishi beside you, Zynon. Sayir, Lumira, how do you react to this response?
Lumira tries to reach out to stop Zynon because she knows what he's doing. And of course, he hasn't fucking learned his lesson yet. He wants to eat another bullet on behalf from Ozzel. So she tries to stop him, or at least like reach out and grab him, but Zynon is nothing but determined. Is he not?
And fast.
That too.
There was a moment where Sayer was going to leap before the gun and saw Zynon do it first, and there's a twinge in his insides, one he cannot name right now. So instead, what Sayer does instinctively, so fast he doesn't even realize it, is grab his bandolier and twitch a button of the rotary gear on the radio instinctively, as if to discern the real doom of this moment, as if pulled by the red strings.
As you turn the rotary dial on your radio, now fixed thanks to the supplies you're able to scavenge from Tower 19 and beyond, you hear a little bit of static crackling to life. No words, nothing to guide you yet. And it's also hard for you to tell if the static is audible to anyone else or if it's something for your ears only. As this action heats up, Ozzel doesn't resist you too much, Zinnia. And as for Samishi, she doesn't flinch whatsoever. She doesn't look surprised at all at this response. There is a sadness in her eyes and a kind of understanding in her gaze as well, as you feel the barrel of Ozzel's gun hitch against your hand slightly and then just give all resistance, and you're able to shove it down quite easily. And Azalis Raid says, "It's pointless anyway. This whole thing is some grand cosmic fucking joke that the ancestors are playing on me. Of course he's dead. Of fucking course he's dead." And they wholesale just drop the shotgun from their hand. They just release it into your grip, Zinnia. And they turn around, they walk a few steps away, and they place one arm up on one of the glass walls encasing this greenhouse. And they just stare out into the dust, out at the edge of the hilltop, out at the commune sprawling out beyond all of you. But there is a vacant look in their eyes, and anyone looking at their face knows that they're not taking in what they're seeing.
Zinnia, I think, immediately sort of takes that, like, deep sigh and closes their eyes at the realization of how poorly this could have went, and also knowing that this is so far beyond how Azalis normally acts. There is concern there, but it's not the time to worry exactly. There's still questions to be asked.
Zynon
The rest of the
watches
tears.
A wound that he's known is there. He can smell it like a bloodhound. He's not going to pursue it, but he knew this wound was there, and he knew the answer to the question before they ever asked it. But the other thing that really hurts is that he can source that same wound back in himself. And he doesn't ask a single question, he just steps aside. gives Ozal space because that's what they want.
Stovall steps aside as well, and the rest of the tears, all of them looking at Ozal at this response that is very unlike Ozal's raid. They take cues from you, Zinnia. They give Ozal space, even though a few of them look like they want to reach out and be there for them, but they choose not to. The tears carefully turn back to Samishi. Jack's gaze is the last to return, lingering on Ozo and then on Zynon, and a recognition, a realization flashing in Jack's eyes before she turns back to face Samishi Erebor, who says, "Truth be told, this is not the first time someone has come to the garden wanting to kill Buta. He was a very hateable man. One of the few things he was adept at being. Stovall here actually came to the garden for the same reason, and responded much in the same way that your friend did. She tried to kill me. But, as you can see, things ended up working out."
So, if I can ask, what is this entire setup? The commune.
Oh. Well, the garden itself is a home, a community, a safe haven for anyone and everyone on Kesseki who might want one, who might need one. You see, part of the calculus I made when I decided to stay, the decision to stay was not the hard part. It was figuring out how to make that choice feasible. I knew I needed to make a place that could sustain life, that could be a lighthouse, a beacon, a genuine space for anyone and everyone. And also a place for me to properly and pragmatically accomplish my greater objective.
Which is?
Yinghe also chimes in alongside you, Zynon. What is your greater objective? Well, to save Kesseki, of course. You see, my mission today is the same mission I had 10 years ago, when the evacuation orders first began. Find a way to make our home habitable once more. To make this dust survivable. Not just survivable, airable. And she holds up one of the containers with dust in it behind her and presents it to all of you. And you see with your own eyes, growing from the top of the dust, a green seedling. A verdant sprout that has just begun to grow a leaf. Samishi says, sorry, go ahead, what was that?
How are you doing this?
I'm a scientist. I received the best education that my family could afford, of course. It made me more marriable in my father's eyes. But I also taught myself as much as I could when the knowledge of book learning was not enough. I was never content with mere theory. I wanted to apply my knowledge, to see it grow in the world around me, to plant it, to water it, to nurture it. I just never had the opportunity to do so until, well, now. Ever since I was a girl, I've always loved the flora and fauna of my planet. The wind and the waves, the suns and the stars, the mountains and valleys. I love our planet with everything that I am, with everything that I have, and I refuse to abandon it. I refuse to just let it die. Even if it means I have to sacrifice everything that I am I won't let everything and everyone around me go the same way. Because what's the point of living if that means my home dies? I am making good progress. This is one cultivar of several that have taken root in the latest versions of the dust that I've been experimenting with, but there is one major roadblock to all of this so far. Scale. You see, creating enough water to sustain a single plant, to feed a single organism is simple enough. Child's play, if you will forgive the simplistic aphorism. However, creating enough water to sustain an entire planet, well, there are engineering limitations to begin with, and beyond that, energetic constraints. Simply put, there is not enough power to make water, enough water for everyone out of nothing. I am, however, working on it. And I do think I can figure out a more efficient way to generate water if only I have a little bit more time. I think I'm close. If I had to hypothesize, I would say I am a few years out from the answer. And I've scavenged and stockpiled enough resources here to comfortably sustain the garden for at least another 3 years. 4 if we start rationing food and water. We can maybe stretch it to 5, but I would really prefer not to. I am close to a solution. I can feel it. And all of you see the sincerity, the 100% assured, unflagging confidence in her eyes. That Zynon you have seen in Pyrrha's eyes many times before.
Zynon feels like he's being played a song that he knew a long time ago. Every time she says, stay, when she was telling the story of why she killed Buta, it's a song that plays in harmony with another old song deep in his soul. She says, I refuse to abandon Kesseki. That even if she has to sacrifice everything that she is to make the garden live and save Kesseki, it's like the sweetest honey playing in harmony with everything he has ever wanted for Kesseki. And then he hears 3 years, and suddenly discord. Because above Zynon Esh, he has never lost track of the fact that a gaping hole in the sky exists. And everything that she just said sounds wonderful, but oblivion is right there. And 3 years is a really long time.
Sayir. That static crackling had been playing in the background this whole time, as you rested your sharp blue eyes on that impossible seedling, as you narrowed your gaze around at the other jars of not just dust, but dirt, actual arable dirt and soil all around you, and you saw other seedlings like that as well, as you recognized the hope, the confidence, the intelligence and skill in Samishi Erebor. That crackling, and then it gets louder, cutting through the background to enter the forefront of your attention, and you hear a familiar voice growl. Go back. There is nothing for you here. And with it, you feel the chill. No. Not just the chill, it's not coldness, it is a lack of anything, including coldness. The presence of oblivion, high in the sky above you, visible even now through the translucent ceiling of the greenhouse above your head. And you are not the only person this time who hears Doom's voice. Lumira, You hear it as well as a member of Strike Team Nova, someone connected to the Syndicate, and so do you, Zynon, and so do you, Zinnia. No one else does. However, Doom's voice doesn't sound like what it does to Zaire to each of you. No, Doom is very personal. Very personal indeed. What does his voice sound like for each of you?
Fuck, what a question, Connie. Hold on.
Yeah, gee.
Jesus Christ.
Take your time to think if you need it.
Oh.
I got
Oh
mine.
fuck. Oh fuck.
Fuck.
I
Well, I hate how everybody immediately goes, got it. Got it at the same time.
I was like,
it's sick.
I'm fucked. I'm fucked.
Every
okay.
one of us is fucked. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Despite
Alright,
what
Zinnia.
you would think. Despite what you would think, it isn't Juniper's voice. There is one person who has been their sort of guiding light throughout everything. The one voice that told them specifically to help Kesseki. It's Sochi.
I knew it.
What about you, Lumira?
I think it's Sing. Yeah, it's Sing.
And what about you, Zynon?
Zynon hears his own voice.
These are the voices each of you hear. Though the voices themselves are familiar, the words, of course, are not. And the way in which this omen is said is with a hardness, an edge, a brutality, and most of all, a deep fear that may or may not be familiar to the voice that it takes.
And you hear Nova, Zinnia, Wyatt, defeated. No, not again.
Alright, Strike Team Nova and Zinnia. Hearing this omen and the voices of doom that are familiar to you, you know what it means. Deep within each of your souls, the meaning of the omen. Go back. There is nothing for you here. And the nothing looms high, but not as high as it used to, and with each passing moment growing closer and closer, larger and larger, almost imperceptibly, but it surely and steadily is. Because you're right, Zynon. Just like you, Samishi is doomed by forces that she doesn't even know are in play. How could she? She's not connected to the Syndicate. She is no agent of trans. Her timetable is even smaller than she thought it was.
He feels bad for her. It's the last thing he thought he would feel coming to this place. Between the lot that she was dealt in her life, that maybe a Zynon from before, one that had never left Haruna Valley, would have despised her even knowing that. But here and now, feels bad for her. Because he felt the exact same way. And that voice, his voice, it's the same thing he probably should have heard before. And maybe it would have saved Doxa and Pyrrha.
What about you, Zinnia? How does this make you feel about Samishi's mission? About her hope?
Guilty, I think, ultimately. There is almost, it is like staring at a mirror to the past. A version of you that thought you could fix this all on your own. This, I don't want to say hero complex, but this desire to save something that is beyond saving, that you can help, you can make things better, but Kesseki's gone. And Zinnia knows this. And it hurts. And I think looking at Samishi too hard, Zinnia feels something in her like pang. So she tries to, I think, avoid direct eye contact with her.
What about you, Lumira?
I think it's pretty layered for Lumira, actually. And I think you can see, as hard as she's trying not to, I think anybody that knows her can see those layers skimming across her eyes on the surface. It's a layer of hurt mixed with understanding, guilt, and something else that's a bit harder to pinpoint right now. But it's something akin to, it's a certain type of hurt and feeling when you have this ambition that pushes you towards something to fix, and that you just know that you're able to do it, but you just don't have all the tools yet. And you don't know if you can get them in time. That, I think, is probably the most underlying feeling under all of that.
And what about you, Sayer?
Times like these, that being the open speaker is so fucking hard. Every time I feel like I know myself, I'm grasping at something within myself that I accept my place, my role, what doom is. I don't. All I know is that this omen feels like despair, and I don't know what to do about it. All I know is a fear my creator won't tell me.
Your reactions stand in rather stark contrast to the responses of everyone else here, who are not able to hear this voice, who are not able to perceive the warning. Not even Yinghe. Yinghe responds not because they heard the voice, but because they are attuned to you, Zainin, and to you, Sayer, and to you, Lumira, and they can feel that something happened. Something, once again, invisible had passed between the three members of Nova that Yinghe had not experienced, whether it was grief or, in this situation, doom. But Saral has her notebook out. She's had her notebook out this whole time. She's furiously scratching away, sketching the plants, taking rapacious notes on everything Samishi is saying. Her eyes behind her glasses bright and glimmering, full of hope and excitement. And Dr. Wu is stepping up to one of the nearby workbenches and has picked up a container of dirt, looking at the sapling inside and marveling at it. And Samishi is in the midst of saying to Dr. Wu, "Oh, pardon me, but are you Dr. Yvonne Wu?" And Dr. Wu blinks at this woman, recognizing her, and turns to her and says, "I am. I'm sorry, Miss Erebor. I don't believe we've met before." No, we haven't, but I've been a fan of your work from afar for some time now. You're a very, very talented climatologist. Many of your essays, your journals, the articles and research you've published have directly influenced much of my work here. It is an honor to meet you in the flesh. I'm glad to see that you're alive and well. I thought I had heard a report from one of the radio towers before the arrays went down that your family had made it off-world on one of the shuttles. I'm surprised to see you here. Is your husband here as well? No, he is not. I see. My condolences. Though that does bring me to my next question. Was there anything else that you all came here for, aside from killing my husband? And at that, Jack leans into you, Zinnia, kind of looks at you rather urgently, and mouths, "The shuttle."
I think Zinnia nods her head in like a no. Yeah. I actually did have one more question.
Please, by all means.
So, to get off planet, we need a shuttle of some sort. And we were doing archival work and we were planning on... She pauses for a moment. Borrowing Buddha's shuttle. Do y'all happen to know where it's at?
Buddha's shuttle? My husband's... There's a moment as she pauses, thinking, and then her eyes light up. Oh, you're referring to the G384 Nomad 4, yes? The one
That's the
Buddha
one.
owned 10 years ago or so. Oh, well. And she gestures broadly around at the greenhouse, and also beyond the greenhouse, at kind of everything around you. You're looking at it. We took it apart years
What?
ago. That's how any of this is possible. And
I beg
you
your
all
pardon.
think, as Samishi is speaking, you think and you look and you recollect and you see the huge panes of glass that are everywhere, the solar panels, the wiring, the electrical components, the force field, the materials used to patch up broken down parts of the outer wall, the brand new structures made from aluminum and tarpaulin and fiberglass that have been erected all around you. It has been crouching in plain sight all along. The shuttle is all around you. And at this point, the reality of what Samishi Erebor is saying truly and fully sinks in, because there's no way off of this planet. And there hasn't been for a long time. All of you are stranded here on Kesseki. And oblivion is coming closer. And we're gonna go to break there. Okay, friends! We are going to be back in just about 10 minutes. Enjoy our sponsor reel and take a break. Stretch your limbs, get some water, eat some food, drink some drinks, use the bathroom, stretch your body, do what you have to do. We'll be back in just about 10 minutes to finish out the episode. Bisho. Transplay nerds, you know what time it is. Sponsor Connie Time. For Arc 4, we're collaborating with the Working Families Party, who are building a multiracial coalition of working class people to make our communities a better place to live for everyone. You might be thinking, why does a political party care about a queer tabletop show? As it turns out, the Working Families Party believes in the power of fandom to affect positive political change in the real world. So do we. As a Transplay nerd, you're no stranger to just how political our show can be and how our stories are never just fiction. In fact, let's take an action together right now by signing a petition by the Working Families Party to break up big media companies. This cause means a lot to us personally, as indie actual play performers fighting censorship, telling authentic stories, and resisting authoritarianism. Go to bit.ly/WFPtrans and add your name to the list. By signing this petition, you will join the Working Families Party's mailing list and receive opportunities to help them organize, educate, and fundraise. So let's build a better future together. Howdy, Transplay nerds. It is, once again, Sponsor Connie time. Arc 4 is proudly sponsored by Hero Forge, a website where you can design and print your very own custom miniatures. But you already knew that, didn't you? Because the spectacular Hero Forge has sponsored us every single arc so far. We've stuck together through all sorts of exciting updates, like Hero Forge Pro, statuettes, color-printed plastic, premium plastic, but now, it's time. It's time for one of the most exciting Hero Forge updates ever. Custom dice. Hero Forge is now offering 3D printed custom dice, where you can put literally anything into the clear material of the die. Each die is printed in the same layers as the item or character bust inside of it, resulting in a solid, perfectly weighted chunk of math rock. You decide the size, color, and shape of your die, the size and color of the numbers on top, and, of course, what the die contains.
Put a frog in it.
Don't die-lay. Visit bit.ly/transforge to design your very own custom miniature or custom dice today. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chaos Protocol, Arc 4, episodes 25 and 26. This is going to be episode 26. But before we hop right back into the session, just a reminder of content warnings. The Chaos Protocol is, of course, a dark fantasy actual play series that deals with content that may be triggering for some viewers. So content warnings for this part of the episode may include fantasy violence, blood, death and killing, grief, mourning, loss of loved ones, complex relationships, survival and scarcity, environmental collapse, apocalypse, guns as weaponry, youth in dangerous situations, and references to classism and the loss of children. No youth will be harmed in this or any other Chaos episode. To get a look at these content warnings at any time, use !CW in the Twitch chat. If you are in the YouTube live, our incredible mods will be copying and pasting these content warnings in the chat intermittently, so you can always look at that to stay abreast of what is happening. And with that out of the way, we are going to get right back into the session. Let's begin. The end of your conversation with Samishi Erebor is a blur. Someone, Libra, Saral, had said, "What?" And someone else, Jack, had demanded an explanation. You can still hear Samishi's words echoing in the corners of your mind. Well, you see, no matter when I would have chosen to escape, I would undoubtedly be leaving someone behind. I couldn't do that. I can't do that. Repurposing my husband's shuttle into the place that you see before you now means that everyone gets to have a safe haven. No one gets abandoned. At that point, a stuttering Bagoon had added very quickly that all of you would need a second, maybe more than a handful of seconds, to process this information, and at that point, Azali's raid was already gone. Samishi was more than accommodating. With an understanding look, she directed your group to the nearest exit, and it is through this aperture that all of you stumble now out of the polished glass and swaying fronds of the greenhouse and into the late afternoon light of a small but well-kept courtyard at the top of a stately hill. You can see the rest of the garden from here, a sprawling, vibrant community of glass domes and solar panels and laughing children and tight-knit families. A place Samishi built with trust, knowledge, hope. But in the wake of this revelation, the gentleness of what lies before you feels unreachable, unattainable, distant, not real. The only real feeling is what coils in your chest now, heavy and sharp, impossible to hold without injuring yourself. Let's start with you, Sayer. How do you reel from your conversation with Samishi?
Sayer feels at a loss, responsible for knowing, holding Doom's Omen. And Sayer finds themselves just playing again and again and again at that knob, hoping that his creator, his father, would say anything else. Anything else. Of course he wouldn't, though. He wouldn't say anything else. There is nothing to say. Go back, there's nothing for you here. And Sayer is now weighted with not only Nova's protection, but the tears, the mission. Elise. Every time he sneaks a glance at Azalise, this broken, open wound, pain. Now he sees what Zynon had been alluding to the person he wants to save. This is it. But fuck, what are we gonna do? How? I don't know. Running out of options. And Sayre looks up at the sky. We're running out of time.
Zynon, how do you reel from this conversation?
He can't find north or south, up or down. Zynon found in Samishi Erebor the last thing he expected. A mirror. A painful reminder of who he used to be. And a sharp reminder from Azali's raid of what that caused. And those two things then point him in only one direction. As he looks around at the tears who have taken them in and cared for us. To the garden full of blossoming life. But most heartbreakingly, to Nova. Zynon looks at Yinke, at Lumira, and Sayre. And all he can think is, I brought them here. And every shred of that feels like laying in the dust. And he is searching for an answer because a patron saint is not going to come and lift them out of this dust. So he has to start looking.
Lumira, how do you reel from this discussion?
Lumira doesn't reel. She plummets. Right off of a cliff. What is there to do now? How can she help? Her whole purpose, her whole motivation, push forward, has been to heal, to help. Yes, she's a chronologist, but she is and always will be a healer first. How do you make time to heal a wound that is not there? Without the consequences that come with it. So she does what she always does. She swallows, compartmentalizes, see what else needs help. Not now.
Zinnia, how do you reel?
Zinnia has ran from grief for a long time. She has, despite being a person who sings for it, sings to it, sings with it, she avoids it like the plague. And I think having to sit in all of this, having to look in the faces of each one of her team, who she is, I think, refused to acknowledge were her team, her family, until this moment. She is now hit with the reality and the weight of everything. And I think in some ways, finding all of this out provides her clarity. Because when she looks in the eyes of every single one of the tears, when they try to ask her a question and she struggles and fidgets with her ring and she can't have any real words for them, she realizes she is back there to who she was 10 years ago. Losing Sochi, losing Cherry, and losing Juniper.
Sayer, as your eyes are still fixed on the sky, and you feel that directionlessness, that nadir within your own soul, you hear a voice beside you. Bright, piping slice of light. Something buoyant, not as heavy as everyone else at all. Bug. Bug's voice is saying to you, okay, so what do we do next? And they are looking up at you with uncertainty in their face, but they're not afraid. They know you'll have the answers.
But I don't. But I don't. I look at this teenager's eyes and I think this is when Sayer sees it. Really. Whole, open-heartedly sees it. Bug's admiration. Bug's respect. Bug's hope. Placed squarely in him. It's a strange feeling to see in another person's eyes. And Sayer can't help but smile when Bug looks at him like that, even if he has no answer. Hey, Cricket. Hey. I don't know. Not fully yet, anyway. How are you feeling?
I like this place. It's cool. Nose Mama
Yeah.
liked that glass house we were in. She was trying to eat some of the dust in the bottles and stuff while you all were talking, but I was able to stop her. Everything here seems really cool, though. But if there isn't a shuttle, are we just gonna get another one? Maybe it's good that there isn't a shuttle. I was kind of sad about maybe what Nose Mama would do. Like, would she fit in a shuttle? Would we have to leave her behind? I'm not gonna leave Nose Mama behind.
We won't leave Nose Mama behind. We're-
Is everything okay? Everyone seems really bummed.
Sit by me, Cricket.
Okay. And Bug sits.
Sometimes things don't go into plan. And sometimes people don't know what to do about it. And it's pretty hard because usually, like the folks in the tiers, like my own folks, we like our plans, even if they change. But I know one thing for sure. And Sayer's going to look over to where Zinnia is. And all that Sayer thinks of is the way that Zinnia has driven this whole time. The despair that you felt, that he only imagined for a fraction of a moment and broke, you survived. If there is a light, if there is a hope, I want to follow that admiration. I want to follow Zinnia. And I think that's what Sayer does as he leans towards Bug. I think that Zinnia and all of us will find something. And he puts his hand on Bug's head, ruffles it a little bit. You remember everything I taught you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting used to that weapon, yeah?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's still heavy, but it feels like a part of me.
It is a part of you. And we will find something together, okay? I'm not gonna leave you. Okay? I'm always with you. And he taps the top of Bug's head. Right in there.
Bug laughs, and you see that uncertainty which they had been trying to wave off and brush away with comments about nose mama and not being that concerned. You see that deeper uncertainty melt a little against the tapping of their forehead. And they go, okay, stop it. Or I'm going to tap you back. Then maybe we should go over to Zinnia if Zinnia's going to know what to do.
Let's go to Zinnia. Look at you leading. Lead the way, Cricket.
Okay. And Bug picks itself up and leads you to Zinnia. Sayir, as you start to approach Zinnia, you walk past Zynon. Zynon, as you are responding to the revelations of Samishi Erebor, looking for answers, thinking about the path forward, where does your attention fall?
Zynon looks around at everyone gathered, watches them reel. He sees Sayir with Bug. And then he finally looks to Lumira, looking for something. Honestly, anything. And then he remembers that horrible, inevitable... I'll remember this moment. I will always remember it. Even after everything. The look on her face. The way it felt like we were standing in the eye of a storm. I thought this was our chance to save everything. If only I knew then what I know now. To hold love is to hold hope. One of the most powerful fibers in the journey. What I thought was hope. It was pyrite. Fool's gold. Sure, it's beautiful, but it ain't real when you look any closer. Look closer, you fool. But I won't. I won't. I don't. In despair for my home that did not have a kind death. Despair for my loves whose joys and lives were taken from them. And despair for myself and the pains and burdens that I would not share. I will do. Something I will regret until the end of the journey. In my grief, I could not see another way. This is a tragedy. And like all tragedy, it is born from love and so much grief that we cannot unmake our mistakes.
Kai, you have muted yourself.
An inevitable thought that slips through those defenses comes wandering up to the surface in the light of Zynon eyes, and reflecting back he sees Lumira. And suddenly, clear purpose pulls him to her. Lumira. Lumira, I have an idea.
What? You? Pop, you okay?
He doesn't answer. He kind of looks to everyone again, just continuing to count heads like we did when we first landed here. No. But you said you went back to the past.
Yeah.
And he looks around at the shuttle broken apart all around us. At the people that we've grown to love and the ones we already loved by the time we crashed here. What if we could go back? What if we could go back before?
As soon as you make that suggestion, Zynon, she gasps. Like she's bracing herself, like she knows what's coming towards her before it even is spoken aloud. And when you say it, it's a hiss. Not like something that's on the defense. More like letting the impact sink in and releasing it in that same moment. And she kind of looks around, looks into space. Her mind keeps playing over and over. There is no shuttle. We're in the shuttle. That is how all of this here is sustained. Her eyes frantically bounce over everyone. Nova, the tears. Even just briefly for a minuscule second before it bounces back to you, Zynon. Her eyes land on Azel. Grief is hard. But love is harder. And love, if she knows nothing else, powers so much of the grief that she carries, that she wears, that she pushes through in spite of, or just because. And she gets it. She does. She knows what this feeling is like. Not intrinsically, wholeheartedly, because there's bits of it she can't remember, but it's still there, that innate want.
Well, it is shining back at her. Because it isn't just hope for him, for the shuttle, for Kesseki. Because inside is a grief that has held so tightly to the idea of what if? What if we could save Tungo? What if we could save every person's home that ever walked through the door at LSSG?
She doesn't let herself think that far. And she squares herself. Her stature, typically rigid, poised upright, over these weeks here have gotten more laxed. Her shoulders are more slouched, her posture less rigid, more loose. She runs her tongue across her teeth and sucks in a shaky breath. She meets your gaze out the corner of her eyes. Right now, I'm not sure if she can even muster the courage to look you directly in your gaze. That's different for her. She's never shied from that for any of you.
And in his eyes, there is unquestioning hope and faith that you, Lumira, can do anything you set your mind to.
You don't know what you're asking for, Sinan.
You're right, I don't. But if you think you could do it. And he looks to Ozal finally. I know where we can get a team. Save the shuttle before it gets taken apart.
Lumira kind of steps back at that. Her hands clench and unclench at her wrists. She knows this probably ain't gonna end well. What you're asking for does not fix the problem. These are things that she knows, that she feels deep in her gut. But she can't acknowledge them right now. Doesn't want to, doesn't fucking matter in this moment right now. All she sees is grief. Never-ending grief. Grief that stretches, that seeps. Just let me think about it. And she says, defeatedly, almost. She doesn't make any more eye contact, but she does turn and walk away.
He doesn't.
She needs that time.
He doesn't stop her, but he does stand there and plan.
Zinnia, at your side, all around you, the tears are reeling too, and you can feel the emotions rippling through them. If they were a pond, the last source of water and hope on this doomed and dying planet, then two heavy, hard, and irrevocable stones have just broken the surface of their hope, sunk to the bottom and stirred up silt, made everything muddy and unclear. The first stone is this: they won't get to kill Buta Erebor. Some of the Tears are more okay with this than others. Sabral, Dr. Wu, this mission was never about that for them, though of course they would not have complained about witnessing the act. But others, Jack, Libra, who has always wanted to shoot a lord between the eyes. Interestingly, even Begoon. And on the farthest end of that scale, of course, Azalis Raid, who ever since the revelation that Buta Erebor was already dead had just tuned out from the conversation. Even the second stone that dropped about the shuttle, Ozzo had barely reacted to that. their mind was not there. Speaking of which, the second stone. Everyone's distraught about that one. The absence of the shuttle means that there is not only no way to complete their mission, there's no way for you to return home. You won't be able to see your families again. The Tears won't be able to deliver their vital research to the rest of their cells. There is a sinking, burgeoning, increasing realization that everyone here is going to also die here on Kesseki, a planet that everyone in the Tears, almost everyone here, save for Bagoon, had already escaped and survived already. And now they're back. And it feels as though their fate, no, their future, is sealed. There is, of course, a third stone for you, Zinnia. And this stone does not plummet into the pond so much as loom high above it. Not black, void, spherical, unstoppable. You know intimately, more intimately than most in the journey, that there is no way to stop oblivion. There is no way to survive here if the end is coming for you. And it's coming. Sooner than anyone knows. Jack, standing by your side. Grim, jaw set, the fingers of her prosthetic arm clenched along the elbow of her organic one. And you see her looking at Ozzel's retreating form. Ozzel is stepping away from the group at large, going somewhere. And then Jack mutters halfway to themselves, but also to you. Damn. They really were hurting more than any of us knew, huh? More than even I knew. Maybe not more than you knew, though, Zinnia. And she glances over at Zynon and wears that same expression that she did when she looked at him in the greenhouse. Except for him, too. He saw it instantly. Guess he really does know Ozzelise.
I think Zinnia can't really form words in this line of conversation. It is deeper, and like they're sitting in this grief that is deeper than this. Than this conversation can muster anything out of them. They give Jack the look they always give Jack, which is, you're right, but there's nothing we can do about it. Because ultimately, it feels so small it feels so small when the world will end and they're all stuck here. Zinnia can't even communicate that with the Tears. That she knows about Oblivion. She just has to hold that and like give that look to anyone in Nova who would meet her eyes. But even then, that's not the Tears, that's not her family. She is so painfully alone in this moment, holding all of this as she tries to keep it together for them. You're right, Jack. Ozzel's been hurting real strong. Now, and she like takes a second and tries to collect herself and pulls any sort of strength she has in her. And when she has those moments of inner strength, she draws on her mentor, the closest thing to like a parental figure out of everyone, in Sunrise, Sochi. What would Sochi do in this moment? And I think Zinnia looks at all of them, meets their eyes, and blinks back tears before they have a chance to form. I know this is more than a setback. This is life-changing. And I'll be honest, I don't have an answer for any of you right now. There is one thing I can do with y'all and for y'all. Can I give y'all the grief song?
The tears had been listening to your words, nodding along, and with this offer, this deeply unexpected, unprecedented offer from you, Zinnia, there are new emotions in the eyes of your teammates, in the eyes of your family that surround you. Curiosity, intrigue, and more than that, a deep, bone-aching familiarity, an intimacy that had always perhaps felt more like a thorn or a flame or an open blade for you. But in this moment, their looks ask you to lean into it. And it is Begun who says, "We would be honored."
I think she nods almost meekly, as in accepting this graciously. It is the first time she is presenting this to someone she loves, people she cares about since Juniper. For everyone else, it was somebody who managed to fall in battle or something else. This is from somewhere, I think, deeper than she lets herself pull from. And I think for the first time in a long time, this song isn't rehearsed, it isn't practiced, it isn't perfect in the way that it has been, the way that Zynon even heard it when it was given to him. It is something raw and messy. And then I think she summons that magic that comes with it. And it comes forth. Can I? Sweet dreams will carry you home. Sweet dreams, no matter where you roam. Softly on little wings, my precious little dove. Forever you return to me, warmed by my love. Sweet dreams will carry you home. Sweet dreams, no matter where you roam. And if fate should will one day that we must part, turn your face to sunny skies. I live on in your heart. Sweet dreams will carry you home. Sweet dreams, no matter where you roam. It's time now to fly away, my precious little dove. Remember me and don't forget, you will always be loved. Sweet dreams, sweet dreams.
Lumira, you hear this grief song alongside the rest of the tears. You hear Zinnia's voice, raw, cracked, vulnerable, real, for the first time, soft, gentle.
Mm-mm. Nope. No.
Why do you flinch away?
Because it doesn't have to be like this. It shouldn't have to be like this. It's... This song's too similar. It's too similar. Lemire has always seen the journey, and in a way that she understands now is a song. She understands that intrinsically that is part of her, that's part of her home. Her home that is already deep in the well of whatever that hole in the sky is already. And now she's standing on a planet that is not far from the exact same fate. Her dad asked her something impossible? No. Not necessarily. Fuck. But she knows the consequences of this. But she can do something. She can, right? But at what cost? What cost to her? What cost to what's left? But she can. She can. She looks for the rest of Nova. And as she's walking towards where she sees Sayir, she walks in typical Lumira fashion, like she has a plan and is going to make it happen, but it's not, the walk isn't completely solid yet. Like there's still some hesitance behind it.
Lumira, you walk toward the rest of Nova, toward Sayir and Yinghe, who are close together. And as you walk toward Nova, you walk away from Zinnia's grief song, away from the other song deep within you, deep within Tungal, that you cannot face right now. You walk away from the echo of your mother's voices in Zinnia's voice, in the half-forgotten memory of your home. And you walk toward a way forward that you will one day regret.
I will.
Sayir. Sayir. Bug had led you to Zinnia, to the tears, which is also where Yinghe is This entire time, she had found her way among the group of the tears, and you had witnessed Zinnia's conversation with Jack. You had witnessed Zinnia's sharing of the grief song, and you had felt and heard what it sounded like as well, as do the rest of the tears. How gentle it is, how vulnerable, how soft and intimate, how deeply, deeply sad, but not in a way that is unbearable. Perhaps if only one person were to carry this, if only one voice were to sing it forever, yes, the weight would be so heavy that a single mortal soul would be crushed beneath it. But here, shared among all of you, somehow the weight doesn't feel so heavy. And Zinnia, it's not just their memory you're drawing on, or maybe it is, and the difference between a memory and a ghost isn't something so hard and fast after all, but you can feel them around you as you sing. You feel Juniper. You can sense their cocksure smile, see their toothy grin on the wind, hear their voice underlaid across your own. You can hear Cherry, her voice, the timbre of it carrying all of you on her backs. You can sense her presence, steady and stalwart, like an oak tree, a cherry tree. And you sense them as well, of course, holding all of you in their arms, raising all of you aloft, their voice, Soshi. Presence, like a soothing wind, like a good death, a gentle death, a proper death. And when the final syllable fades into the dust, into the wind, Libra's crying. They didn't realize until you're done, and halfway embarrassed, they quickly wipe at their face.
Stop it.
Sayir, how do you respond to Zinnia's song?
Sorry, there was background noise. Sayer weeps. Tears that fall past his face, down to the hand that rests on top squarely on Bug's shoulders. And Sayer, in this moment of softness, tenderness, holds Bug a little closer, and I think reaches closer towards Yinghe, his friend, his world. And in this moment, Sayers feels the coil of Aragnes deep within him, that despair, that helplessness, that hopelessness, staring into inky black oil. He's buoyed by the song. Just a little bit. Just a little bit buoyed from that. Is this it? Is this how the story ends? Is this all we are fated for? Is this the path we walk now? The thrash. Stand. Is this how the story ends? And Sayer grips Bug and Yinghe a little tighter.
Bug leans into you. Yinghe rests a slender hand against your shoulder and is looking up at you, her silver eyes gleaming in the setting light of the suns. And then, Lumira. You sense her presence before you even hear her footsteps, rather uneven, almost erratic, as she approaches you.
Lumira. Lumira's face is everywhere, all at once. Her hands are stretching and balling into fists consistently. She's pacing, walking in circles. Really, you've never seen her like this. It's like every ounce of poise that she's ever carried in her body at one time is gone. And for once, it is just frantic, nervous, stretched thin Lumira. Like this whole time, she has been spinning every fucking plate that there is imaginable all at once, and every plate, one by one by one, right after the other, is falling and crashing to the ground as she's trying to keep it upright and still spinning. And I will come to regret this moment. And it was only the first step of many mistakes that I will make. I think I have a plan.
Sayer sensed that franticness, gives Bug 2 lingering squeezes, and says quietly to their ear, "I'll be back, Cricket."
Bug nods, looking between the two of you, not understanding this dynamic at all. But they believe you, of course they do. They trust you implicitly, and they release your hand with a smile to step closer to the tears. Yinghe at that also folds in, eyes full of concern at you, Lumira. Sayer, the only other degree of frantic energy that Lumira is exhibiting right now that even comes close is the trial of the great sage in the city of heaven when Xiaocheng was literally spinning plates out of control, cracking under the pressure. You see an echo of it on her now.
What did you have in mind?
And she smiles. It's not a real smile. It's a desperate, tight smile. Like a smile like you know exactly where her brain is sitting at before she even has to open her mouth. What if I fixed it? What if... And she stops herself, takes a deep breath, gripping her hands back and forth in front of each other, wringing them dry consistently in anxiety.
Mira, look at me. What are you asking me?
We have to go back.
Go back?
It's okay, follow me, right? It's the only thing that makes sense right now. She starts pacing. It's coming closer every day. And we don't have any other way off of this planet. And what if we just had a a week or two or something like that, where we were able to just like go back before like everything and set things into motion the way that they were supposed to be before it got too far from fate. And I, she catches herself rambling. And steals herself. I am the only one that can fix this. I'm asking you to come with me.
And the omen rings in Sayer's mind.
I need
Go
you with
back.
me.
There's nothing for you here.
Now. There's nothing now for us here, but there can be.
Something that itches in Sayer's ribcage. It's something that twinges in the base of their antlers, but they can't. They don't know. They don't know yet. And Sayer looks at you, glances over at Yinghe, and back to you. I choose us every time. So, you just tell me what you need from me. And Lumira, are you sure?
And for the first time, Sayer, Lumiere is honest. No. But I have to be.
And you see Sayer nod. Whatever you want from me, it is yours.
Yinghe looks helplessly between you, Lumira, and you, Sayer. And we see in his face that just like with Sayer, there is no choice for him here. Of course he's coming with. Nova is her family. The only family she's ever known. A complicated family. Yes, a family they're still figuring out their place in, but they're family. And there's something else, too, in their moonlit eyes. Deep, deep underneath the certainty is guilt. Guilt at trying to leave already. And a burning need to prove that they're here to stay. And she says, I'm coming too. Whatever you need. We'll do this together.
I need you there too.
I'll be there. I promise. And with that, Lumira, Sayer, Yinghe, you know there's only one piece missing from your team. Zayn and Ash. Zinnia. After Sayer, Yinghe, and Lumira step away from the tears in the wake of your grief song, you do feel the absence of one person. Azali's raid. They're not here. They're not in the courtyard. You're not sure if they heard the grief song wherever they were, but right now, you don't see them.
I think they look around to the tears. Y'all, Any of y'all seen Hazel?
Bagoon's the one that raises his eyebrows at you and responds, "You're the one that would know. You're the one that would know where they'd be."
Yeah. I'm gonna go find them.
All right. Don't be too long, Zinnia.
Yeah.
We'll be right here.
Yeah. And I think Zinnia reaches in, like, her bag real quick and hands, like, a small journal of, like, the grief song. And just in case they want to practice it, go over it, to give them the space to work on that together in this time. Just to share in all of that before she goes and tries to find Azalise Raid.
Jack's the one that takes the journal on behalf of the rest of the Tears. And everyone in the Tears has already expressed their thanks to you, their gratitude to you after you finished your song, for sharing it with them, for teaching it to them. And there are soft looks and nods as you step up and away from the rest of the group temporarily. Where do you go to try to find Ozzel?
I think there is a similarity in Zinnia and Azalise Raid. And Zinnia knows if she had been given the space and didn't feel the responsibility and the love of giving the Tears this song, there's one place she'd go. As far away from other people as possible. And I think she goes and checks the wall.
You find them there. Not in the first wall you check, nor on the second part of the wall you check, nor the third. It takes you a while. But on the 6th or 7th, no, on the 8th place you look, in the 8th place exactly, you find Azalise Raid sitting at the very top of the western outer wall, staring out blankly and motionlessly into the dust. 2 legs swung over the edge, just looking.
Zinnia finds her way up there. I don't think it matters much for the camera how. She's there. It takes her minutes at best the second she sees Azalise Raid. That is all her focus is right now.
As you surmount the wall, as always, Ozzel doesn't acknowledge your presence, certainly not with words. There's just the breeze, much stronger up here than it is at the base of the wall, rustling through their dust-eaten clothes, through what little fuzz grows on their shaven scalp. And the bond, the connection, the similarity between the two of you, Zinnia, has always been unspeakable. Literally unspeakable, wordless. You've never needed to express how you felt, to express what you wanted or needed out loud to each other. Both of you have always just kind of known. And more than that, both of you have always just been soothed, stabilized perhaps, by the other's presence, the presence of someone so like yourself. How do you offer your wordless presence to Azalise Raid in this moment?
Almost as if providing an entry fee. The first thing Zinnia does is place that shotgun back down, almost in between them for a second, of, you left this, I'm here.
Ozzel doesn't take it. That is your first sign that something this time is different. They do not take the weapon.
Zinnia, I think, puts the shotgun back with her own person. She has a spot for it. And she moves a little closer. And I think she doesn't say anything for... It's hard to tell how much time passes in their shared silences. It could have been 30 seconds, maybe more, maybe less. But Zinnia doesn't say anything for a while before looking at Ozalis and just taking in their form, their frame. Are they sitting different than they normally do?
Yes. Yes, usually Ozalis Raid sits with purpose. Eyes glued on the horizon, on an invisible objective only they can see. Them and the crimson mark on their one good eye, the crosshair. But this time, there's no fight in Ozalis Raid left. They look empty. There's not even darkness in them anymore. There's nothing at all. A vacant gaze, looking at a memory you can't see. Not the dust. Not Buta Erebor. Something else. Someone else. That is your second clue. But something this time is different. And your third clue is the fact that Ozalis Raid speaks. And they say, I see her everywhere.
Zinnia swallows hard and nods and does not speak, letting Ozalis say that and let it hang and give it as much, I think, the weight that she knows something like that deserves. I think she looks over again and nods, and I think her eyes are watery. She has already had to shake off the feeling of her own loved ones, a thing that she has pushed away every single time she sings that song. So she understands feeling that grief hanging around her, holding her, being so intimately close in every moment.
I also have the same nightmare every night. I have for over a decade. Every night ends the same, and every morning begins the same. After I left, I did not want anything. I did not need anything. Everything I did, everything I made, was for someone else. I don't know who. I don't think I've ever known who. Someone that would outlast me. Outlast this. The one thing I ever wanted, just for myself,
everything I ever asked for in this half-life. I can't even have. Not even an illusion of it. Not even in my dreams. I think it's too much this time, Zinnia. I've carried this for so long. Here. Somewhere deep. But this time, I can't. I think. This time I think it's going to kill me, see? I think the grief is going to kill me. Not because I want it to, but because I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough to outlast it this time. Can you stay with me? Until it does.
And without hesitation, the first thing Zinnia has actually managed to say to Azali's raid is, of course.
And you sit there with Azali's raid for what feels like a lifetime. There, with them, with their grief, with their ghost, the one ghost that has never left their side, the one wound that is lanced through their heart, through their soul, in the exact same place that it is lanced through Zion and Ash. Zion. Lumira, Seir, and Yinghe approach you. And you see on the faces of Nova already that a decision has been made.
Zion spent the entire time not anxiously waiting Lumira's answer, but letting this hope, this thing that he calls hope, the thing that drew him down here, dragged him and Nova across this world. He lets that hope buoy him as he plans for a team that he knows will be there if he asks. The Lodestar Steading. And for this, for Nova, for his other family. Because this is why he told Dom that it would be different. Yinghe could keep the shadows at bay and under her power. Seir could portend any danger from doom that might come for us. And Lumira, that bright shining hope, the starlight that he remembers seeing. He sees them coming and he seems prepared in a place full of disarray because he also heard the grief song. But Zion and Esh, who just learned how to attend a funeral a few months ago, didn't hear a single note of it this time. Because he won't grieve for a Kesseki that won't be here when they fix it.
Lumira, you lead Seir and Yinghe right to Pop. And you know you're gonna need privacy for what comes next. You'll need space as well as time.
Okay. And Lumira stops directly in front of you, Zynon, her hands flexing and balling into fists again as if she's teeming with an energy that she's still unable to expend. Okay. Okay.
Okay. What do you need?
Specifics. The most defined, specified, exact memories. What you can remember, what you can see, what you know. No guesses.
No guess. And he pulls out the maps that we recovered from Tower 19. Every shred of Kesseki he has been carrying along this journey. And he begins to explain that next to the city marked as Haruna City on the map, he follows a finger down a road that he has walked more times than anybody has ever counted the stones along it. And he points to a little spot with no marking. Here. This is home. The lodestar steading. You said it was before, when it was green. If you can take us to when it was green, I can do the rest.
What was around you? She asks. I need specifics, Zynon.
There's a pen here. And he moves his finger less than an inch. Open rolling grass. A little hill, but nothing too dangerous.
Were there any trees around in
Yes.
that area?
Yes. About 2
I said
acres that way.
specifics.
There's a forest. There's a forest. Yes. And a fence. And he begins to pour through and draw out for you the image of a farm that he knows better than the halls of Trans. He's seen it in his dreams. Every dream. And he hangs on the top of it a single beautiful smile when he says, and this is the home. Probably shouldn't start there. Might startle him.
Mm-hmm. And with that picture in mind, Lumira builds this patch of road of Haruna Valley in her mind, exactly at that point that Zynon touched on the map. And she looks across the rest of Strike Team Nova, nudging with her head away from the rest of the tiers. And she holds her hands out.
As you do so, Lumira, Sayer has been darting his head back and forth between Zynon and Lumira and Zynon, knowing less and less. And he says, directed to one of you, hopefully, where do I fit in? What do you need?
I need you to hold on to me.
And listen.
All of you.
Listen, Seer. If you feel an omen, anything, I need you to keep us. And he looks to Lumira. I need you to keep us safe.
And you have just asked Sayer a great, great responsibility and a great burden, with not even a heartbeat to think if he could even do that. And he takes your hand, Lemira.
And when everyone's hands are linked into hers, she breathes deep, heavy, settling, like she's about to embark on a journey never before tracked.
Ymira, in one hand you feel Sayr's hand, large, steady, calloused, firm. In the other you feel Zainan's, the hand of a man who is miraculously still alive, who should be dead, who did die and is still here. And linked to you by way of both Zainan on one side and Sayir on the other is Yika directly across from you. The shadow mage holding Sayir's hand in one of hers and Zainan's in the other. And as you steel yourself, Lumira, you draw on the lessons of the Drifter. You draw on the feeling of vaulting that you attempted with the Drifter, and several times, each one failing in your attempt to correct the worst mistake of Sayir's life. But this time you know there is no margin for error. You have to get it right. You fix the lodestar steading, the purple grass, the animal pens, the forest in the near distance, the small hill, the steading itself. You fix the description, the vivid description, as though it were the back of his own hand that Zainan Esh had provided you, and you hold it, you fix it in mind like a compass rose. What surges through you as you summon your innate magic, as you call on your chronergy?
You should have fucking listened. You're gonna learn this the hard way. Now watch what comes from this.
Space bends. Time inverts. The journey shakes, trembles, warbles, exhales in pain and hope and light and death and an ending against your bodies, which are also your minds, which are also your souls, and for a fragment of time, which is also an infinity, which has already happened and has never happened and will happen one day. You linger there in the place between then and now, what is and what could be, and then you vault. You're muted.
I love you all. I love you. And Lumira, my daughter. I'm so sorry.
And we're gonna end the session there. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Arc 4, Episode 25 and Episode 26 of the Chaos Protocol. Let's do some much-deserved introductions, starting with our incredible guest star for the evening, Dare.
Hi, hey, hello. Name is Dare. Pronouns she, they, they, it. Hey, that was the first time I ever fucking sang for an audience. Y'all are welcome. Terrifying. If you like what I do, like my voice, you can find me anywhere on the internet at Dare to Dream RPG. That is DARE, the number 2, DREAM RPG. And very specifically, if you like to hear my voice talk about movies, I'm going to humbly request you listen to my podcast with my partner and fellow transplanter alum Quinn, Sapphics at the Cinema, which is a really incredible queer movie podcast. And we'll be talking about TVs that glow in the next few weeks for Pride. So bring your most cis friend to that viewing. And I'm going to throw it over to Val.
Hi, everyone. I am Valiant Dorian, I suppose. I use he of his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or at also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight, I have the distinct pleasure of playing Thayer, who uses he, they pronouns. And yeah, just keep an eye on my socials for upcoming announcements for my werewolf anthology. But honestly, just get ready to get my heart and body wrecked in the next few weeks over here on Transmitter RPG in the arc that kicks you in the head. And speaking of being kicked in the head, Kai? Zynon? Go ahead.
Hi. Hello. I'm Kai. You can find me everywhere as Estella Vimladris. And yeah, wow. I'm sure doing stuff. I love you all. Not sorry. Sam?
I'm also not sorry. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Star, she, they, and the occasional they pronouns. Yeah, I mean, we did say this was the arc that kicks you in the fucking head, right? Get kicked in the head. Follow me all over the interwebs, more specifically where the butterflies do fly blue, at Lust for Life X. Boss, take us home.
It's me, boss. Wow. I feel menaced. I feel menaced by this stream. I, who've never done nubbin wrong, and I've only ever been gentle.
Connie, nope, we're not. Nope. Nice fucking try. Liar.
You can't prove it. You can't prove it. And
I can't.
I
can't. I can't.
I believe
there's not a fucking there's not a full podcast stream and YouTube stream that goes years back that says otherwise. Huh?
Didn't you get taken to court a few months ago?
Yeah.
And didn't you lose miserably?
I struck a plea bargain. Okay. I ratted out all other evil GMs, and I got off scot-free. Okay. So another win for the criminal injustice system. So in terms of Arc 4. Some outro announcements. So we are getting close to the end of Arc 4. What? Which means that things are ramping up over here in production land, the land where seas roam free. Which means we are back to a semi-regular stream schedule. Hooray for mending bones! Hooray for horsey time! But we've also got some pretty huge plot points to wrap up before this arc comes to a satisfying conclusion. As I'm sure you all can assume, having just joined us and jumping back in time, we're doing time travel, baby! Which means that our next 2 Chaos streams are going to be special episodes. That's right, even more content for you all to slurp that up and enjoy. These special episodes are going to be following Strike Team Nova into the past, because time travel doesn't exactly align with how the journey normally works. That's right. After those 2 special episodes, we're going to have 3 more streams. That's right. Count them, read them, and weep. 3 more streams to bring us to the devastating and beautiful conclusion of Arc 4. Because it's gonna be wild, y'all. It's just more head kicking from here. So please join us next week, Saturday, June 6th. That's gonna be our first Pride Month stream, baby! First Pride Month stream! At 8 p.m.
Happy
US
Pride?
Eastern Time. That's well, we celebrate all shades of the queer experience, and our shades just happen to be really fucking sad, and we love it. So it's gonna be next Saturday, June 6th at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, right here on Twitch and YouTube Live for the first of our time travel special episodes. And please trust me, you are not going to want to miss these. They're going to be plot crucial. Very, very plot crucial. Just extra stuff for you to slippy slurp up. So stay tuned on our Discord server and our social media pages for more teasers about what's coming up exactly and what you might be able to expect. In the meantime, you can support our show by joining our Patreon, joining and participating in our Discord server, making fan works if you are so inspired, posting about Transplanar on Blue Sky, Instagram, Tumblr, or whatever esoteric forums you might frequent, rating our podcast, buying merch from our merch store, and most importantly, telling someone else about the channel. That's right, your friends, perhaps your family, perhaps your homoerotic enemy, perhaps that cute barista that you always get a latte from, perhaps your dog, perhaps a cat, perhaps a reptilian friend, perhaps a horse, or perhaps even some sort of avian companion, say a budgie, or more scientifically referred to as parakeet. Thank you so much, Transplay Nerds. We are gonna see you next Saturday, June 6th, Pride Month, at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube Live for our, not community stream, for our first of our time travel specials. And in the meantime, we're gonna raid someone really awesome, no doubt. So send the love over to someone else. Send it over, use the raid message in chat. And Bisho.